Welcome back to Mediocre Manor. Today's video is going to be about our off-grid camper van. So this van was actually our first off-grid solar project here on the farm, and I believe it was Harry's first also. It was a first for everybody. Steph and I had moved down here and we wanted to have something, we were excited about all the off-grid and solar powered things, and so this was the project. I believe it was the first one. We picked this van up on eBay. I think we paid about $6,000, maybe $6,500, and it was a former news van. It had a big old antenna coming out the top, like a 65-foot telephone pole kind of collapsing boom with a big antenna, satellite dish on top of it, and all kinds of controls. And it was set up like you would expect a reporter van would be set up. There was a big wall of wires and places to put computers, and a seat that was right on the floor for an editor to kind of wheel around and type on the computer, and a place for the camera. So all kinds of cables. It was a mess. It was a rat's nest of wires. So we spent a few weeks just gutting it and clearing it out and rearranging everything, and we added solar panels to the top up here, and we added a water tank, a toilet, a sink, a bed, an area for the dogs, and we took all the electronics that they had in there and amended it to also work with solar. So I'm going to do a quick little walk around and kind of give you a tour. Okay, so here we are on the right side of the van. We've got the little Triton V10 sticker here, and that's because this engine is the Ford Triton V10. I can't remember any other information about it. Jake's trying to get in the shot here. It's a big engine, and it's not a diesel, so it's a gas hog. It's also the extended version, so it's a little bit longer than a regular van. And these cargo vans, this is something we found out when we were looking for vans. Most vans, conversion vans, a lot of the older Chevys, they're pretty short, and they're just barely big enough to have, the two captain seats and the bench seat in the back. You've got to get an extended if you really want to have a little bit of living space and a bed. So that's what this is. It's the Super Duty Extended XL Ford Triton, 10-cylinder. It's got everything, and it's heavy. It has the ambulance package because it had to carry all the weight of the boom, and it's got this really beefy steel, I guess you would call it a luggage rack or roof rack that you can walk on. I'll take you up there towards the end. Real strong, and that's one of the reasons I wanted it. I wanted to be able to mount things on the top and get up there if I had to, so that was a big selling point for me. So this is the back section of the van, and what we've got here is a control box where I think the editor or the engineer, whoever was editing the videos, or maybe even the reporter, they would open this up, and there is a little light here, and there was a control panel with a bunch of buttons and plug-ins for cameras and everything. I've gone ahead and removed that because my original plan was to go ahead and put in beer taps. I just haven't got to that yet. It's kind of on my radar, but I can't do it right now. You can kind of see, if you look in here, it's a Rubbermaid container with my deep cell batteries in there. But I can't get to that because the bed panel is on top of that. And that snaps down there. This actually has a vent here, and this is how my batteries are vented so that fresh air can get in and out. Because I use the same batteries that Harry uses, which is the deep cell battery from Walmart. This here is the shore power plug, and once you're plugged into shore power, you can use all these different outlets if you wanted to. There's also some up here, different outlets that you could plug. I mean, I've never used them. There's so many. You've got 2, 4, 6, 8 right there, and they go all around the van. These lights also work. These floodlights work when you're connected to shore power. So now I'll take you around the back here and show you a little bit back here. So here we are at the back. This is another reason I really like this van. It's got this really sturdy ladder that leads up to the roof, and like I said, I'll take you up there after, but not too much back here. No, one more floodlight, and when you open the door up, you'll kind of get a view of what we've got going on here. It's a little messy, so I apologize. This is where we put our bed, and we sleep here with our head here. We'll have the pillows here. This is a hot water heater. This is where we take showers when we're camping. Looks like I lost a knob, but you just plug this on here, plug the propane in, and then you've got hot water if you need it. That's my 35-gallon water tank back there. If you come over here and then you focus in here, I put a shut-off valve from the water tank to here, because what was happening was this was dripping while I was driving. It was soaking the floor here. So if you wanted to use the hot water heater for a shower or something, you just turn this on. This is how you fill the water tank. You just take this off, and it's just plumbed right into the top here. And I know it's kind of ghetto. I meant to put something out the side, but I just run a garden hose up here and let the water flow in there, and you'll slowly see it rising. The 2x4s are what we built the bed frame, or the bed panel on, and I guess I'll put that back after. It's just 2x4s that run, there's 3, and it runs down, and it's just plywood. We've got a little Coleman stove here, a first aid kit, and different other things stored back here. We've got some rope lighting that fell down. This goes all around the top, so when we're up here at nighttime we can see. And then we've also got all these little lights here for reading and doing activities in there. One more thing that we have back here that I'll show you how it works in a second. This is the shore power plug. So I'm going to take this out now, and I'll plug it in after and show you how the inside works. But now, move around here to this side. I think I even forgot to say it's the 350 Super Duty. This here is a generator. Commercial grade, Cummins. There we go. This is it here. You can start it out here with this start here, or you can start it from inside when it's working. I've had a little problem lately with keeping it going, but it's got springs here so it doesn't shake the van while it's running, and it's connected to the van's fuel tank. So it just uses the fuel. If the fuel were to reach a quarter tank, or well, somewhere right around a quarter tank, this would stop working, so that you would have enough fuel to leave whatever area you're in. Okay, now I'm going to take you up top and show you what it looks like on the roof. Okay, here we are at the top. I've installed this cargo carrier that I got on Craigslist. It's just a Sears X Cargo, and I ordered some clips to hold this down. It comes with these straps, but I did not trust these because they're just kind of old and brittle, and they loosen up over time. What I did was bought these clips that, it's kind of like a bolt. One side goes through here and one side's up in here, and I got 4 of them, and they hold it down really tight. This is our Duotherm air conditioner by Dometic, and then up there we've got the 200-watt solar panels and the fantastic fan, and this great roof rack that you can walk on. All these panels are just little aluminum brackets and some steel brackets. I had a hell of a time trying to get this in because, as you can see, the clearance is barely enough to even reach your hands in there. So that was a real problem trying to get that fantastic fan in, but it's in. This is where the solar panel wires go in. I just covered it with silicone, a lot of it, and it hasn't leaked yet. So this is the top. Well, let's go back down. I'll show you the inside. So it's not really too clean. We don't really have it set up to be lived in. I usually just use a little tie there to keep the door open. I started with this idea. This came from an old grill, and I wanted to see if it would work. But we have like a little stand here where our propane stove can go. If we don't have a picnic table or somewhere else to cook, we'll open the doors. We can cook here. That I built myself just out of scrap wood that I had laying around, and some of the parts that were originally in here. We've got a little boating toilet. This is a toilet you can get on, or a camping toilet, you know, you can get it on Amazon or eBay. That's the really small one. I think it might only be 3 gallons, maybe 3.5. But here, I'll jump up here. Got this thing in here just to kind of hold it. And basically it's just one of these little plastic pumps. Water in the top, all the waste goes on the bottom. Pump it, it rinses it, and then you shut the door. We use it for emergencies. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you just have to go real quick and you don't want to jump out into the cold. It's perfect. This drawer came with it. It was in, there was a big structure here, and this drawer was part of it. Right now we just have pots and pans, a little holder, pot holder, some scissors. All of our condiments are up here, plates and things like that, and then there's a door here. We got some honey. Just things like that. Little sink, and how the sink works, I've got the SureFlow water pump hooked up to my water tank in the back, and there's a little switch here that I made. You don't have to look at it. It just it's just a switch that I made. I picked up like a $3 switch. Turn the switch on, it activates the SureFlow pump, and then I've got water. I gotta let the air come out because I don't have the bladder on there. But the water just comes down through here and into this 5-gallon water canister that I got at Walmart. And then when you're ready to dump it, you just pull this vacuum hose out and you just dump it on the ground. And I'll show you right now. I've got some water in there, not too much. And that's it. And then you just put it back in. Lasts quite a while. So far, this really very basic system has worked just fine. A little towel, things like that. These lights do work when you're hooked up to shore power. Nothing really to see in the front. Here's a fantastic fan that I'm not gonna open, but that's 12 volt. That doesn't have anything to do with the van. That's all battery powered. Okay, so now we're gonna focus on the back side here of the van. This was a custom design by us for a place to put our dogs. We can fit both Jake and Stella in there comfortably. There's a lot of space back there, and it's under the bed. This is just chicken wire and old paneling that I found here. I've got a little latch, and you open it up. I've got my spare jack in the back there, and the dogs go in there at night. Jakey loves it. Anytime we come out here, if he were out here right now, he'd jump and go in there. He loves it so much. Stella not so much, but they ride in there while we're traveling, and then when we're camping at night or we're sleeping somewhere, they jump up there. They've got their little beds, and they just love it. When we're not traveling with the dogs, it's a great storage space. You can fit tons of suitcases and clothing and all kinds of shoes in there. This is the mattress. What we do when we're sleeping is just pull these down, and that way some of the light from the front, if there's anything going on up here, you know, it's kind of just like a separation. Right now I have that up because it's easier to see. This is the control panel that came with the van originally, and originally this was up here, so we had to move all the wires and everything down in order for us to get the bed here. Came with a really great pure sine wave inverter that I actually don't use, and then I installed this tiny little inverter. I think it's a 750 watt Schumacher that I got from Walmart, and I've got the power bar here. If you, here, hand me that camera, come around here. This is my little setup that I've got inside the door here, and as you can see, we've got the Windy Nation, oops, sorry, Windy Nation controller here, and you can see that we're full right now. We've got a happy little battery, and so that's kind of the control center for the solar. This is the switch I was telling you about for the SureFlow pump, and then we've got the inverter here. And you just go ahead and hit the switch, the inverter is on, and then you can turn your little power bar on, and what we do is plug some lights in. We plug the rope light in, I'll show you that. And see, that gives us a little extra light in the back of the van at night. It kind of has fallen down now, but at nighttime it works really well. Also the fantastic fan works off the 12 volt and the SureFlow. So it's a pretty nice little system. So now I'm going to show you how to power it up. We've got our shore power plug here. This one actually has a plug that can hook up to a regular house extension cord. We've also got all kinds of adapters for different outlets that might be at campgrounds, but they usually have these. And we picked this as our main connector because a lot of times we're at people's homes and it's just a lot easier to have an extension cord as opposed to a much larger commercial type or camper RV type plug. So I'm just going to grab this plug that's plugged into the house, and you just plug that in like that. Grab the other end, come back here for the shore power plug. Make sure you got that on there right, and then wiggle that on there. Come around here. See if you can see this. Now this is the power center. It says it's a Television Engineering Corporation power distribution panel, and tons of wires were coming into this thing. What you have here are this is the main switch, but then up here you've got a toggle switch with shore power, generator power, or you're not pulling any power. Same here on the utility side, and same over here with technical. And what we think, after talking with Harry and having him look at it, I think the technical, everything goes through this, and there's a spare battery under here. And basically what we think happened was anything important like computers, television cameras and everything went through this technical side, and if the power was ever getting low for whatever reason, they would get some kind of warning that power was going to go out. And it was also a cleaner energy because it was all going through this inverter. Over here, utility would have just been straight shore power. And then you've got all these switches, equipment racks, receptacles, work lights, all kinds of things, battery chargers, you could charge your battery. But I'll go ahead now and show you how it lights up. And basically what you do is you hit the main switch here, and right now we're connected to shore, so I'm going to select shore power, and now it kind of starts telling you volts, hertz, technical amps, and utility amps. This would be what you're using. You've got what you've got and what you're using. So shore power, utility. Now I'm live. Anything I hit here is going to work. I've got street lights, my work lights, the receptacles on the deck and the curbs, and yeah, so everything in here basically works now. If I wanted to start the generator, I could hit this button here and that would start. I would just have to toggle it down to generator. So, alright, one other thing that we have that I forgot to show you is the air conditioning control is here. You can turn that on, and then you've got a display that basically tells you you can choose heat or cool, and then you can set your thermostat. I don't know if you can see that from here, just like they would have on a regular RV, but that was a really nice plus. You know, that was a very cool thing to have. And the air conditioner is right up here on the top. It's got vents on this side. It also has vents that point towards the bed back there, so at nighttime we can close these and shoot them at the bed, and it's very comfortable. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the van. I know I probably left a few things out, so if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer you. And maybe we'll do a different video showing a little bit more of the day-to-day, how it is when we're camping. We'll be going on some trips soon, hopefully, so maybe we'll do a little recording there and show you how it is when you're actually in there at night. It's cool. So thanks for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the next video.